I'm excited to present this video in which we talk about how to connect VerbaGPT to data that you might have on a cloud. So it's actually pretty straightforward. You instead of going to CSV, you go to SQL, and there you'll see this option of Azure SQL, enter credentials. So you can, so I've already entered my credentials. This is what the format looks like. I have hidden the username and password here, but that's kind of, you enter a string, and then it connects to your SQL server that's on Azure, and it provides a message, it's using Azure, and I can click to switch back to a local SQL if I have it. And then I simply go and ask a question. So I have this database called VGTest, and that has some sample data that Microsoft publishes. So this is what it looks like. So this is my data set, and it has a table on the course, credit, student ID, and student name. So it's kind of like a sample database, what courses students are taking, and so forth. So I'm going to ask a question here. How many students are there? So kind of a simple question, and it takes a while to process because it's using Bing. I'm using the Bing option here. If you're using OpenAI, especially 3.5 option, it'll be faster. But GPT-4 is really good though in terms of results. So anyway, so it processes, it writes some code for me to execute to answer my question. And there we go. There's 1,000 students in the database. Okay, great. Now let me ask a little bit more of a complicated question. This video is going to be too long if I go through the complexities. Let me just ask the most complex question I can think of right now. Let's see. Give me the top 10 courses in terms of the number of students enrolled in them. Also include the average grade for those courses. Okay, so the question seems straightforward enough, but it's pretty tricky when you have to think through what we are asking the LLM to do. The LLM has to translate that question into code and then apply that on a SQL database, a relational database. And once again, the unique thing about VerbaGPT is that the LLM has no connection to the data. So all it's doing is from very superficial information that we provide to the LLM. So that makes it pretty interesting. So let's see. So it's able to write this query. It's actually a join on course and credit. And so let's see. So execute on this, and there we have it. So we have literature and culture. It seems to have 103 students, and the average grade is 52, and then we have world history, and then we have calculus, and so forth. So it's able to answer our question correctly. What I'm going to ask next is I'm going to ask you to develop a report on this. So that's how we do this. So it's like report, and then this bracket at the end. I'm going to hit enter. So now what I'm asking it to do is to take the code that it gave me and the results that I had, feed it back to the LLM, and ask it to generate a report for me on what it did and what the results are, and tell me about them. So that's also pretty interesting because not only can we connect to the cloud, and connect to SQL, which is I think an area that's really underexplored right now with LLMs. So it's able to do that, but then we switch from asking it to be very precise in code to being creative and give us a report. So here we have it's a report of course statistics, the OK title, and then it goes through, it tells us what it did, and then it provides us the results. So that we have, and then it discusses the results. So that's pretty cool too. So literature and culture is the most popular course amongst the students. World history is second. The results food and culture has the highest average grade. Uh, and then it sort of adds this, which is interesting. Students who took this course were interested in the topic and performed well in their assessment. Okay, fair enough. So yeah, so it adds some discussion to the report as well, and kind of expands on that, which I think is pretty interesting. So I hope you enjoy this video. Here we show that we can connect to Azure SQL. So you're not limited to the data that you only have on your machine or on your local network or organizational network. You can connect to that on the cloud as well. If you have Azure SQL, then you can connect to it and ask it questions, just like I did right now, and get some answers. So let me know what you think, and if there are things that you'd like me to try and make more videos on, let me know that as well. Thanks for watching.